Okay, so in this video, I will be demoing the Chili virtual machine, which I found using ValnHub. So first of all, we don't know the IP address of our machine. So one best tip I would recommend here is to go on settings. Underneath your network adapter, go on advanced, and remember the last four digits of your MAC address. In my case, it is 7A4D. So this MAC address is your best friend, and it will help you to be able to discover the IP address. So now without further ado, we're gonna try and find out what our IP address is by using netdiscover. So we're gonna use netdiscover eth0, and I should not forget sudo, otherwise it will deny me permission. Okay, so now I'm running netdiscover here. It will scan all possible subnets until it's found my subnet. So it still keeps on going until for an infinite period. So therefore I found out my IP address, but which one is it? So recall, a few seconds ago we looked at the last four digits of our MAC address. So last four digits of our MAC address was 7A4D, as we saw from the settings. So this matches that. So therefore it is safe to say that our IP address is 192.168.12.130. Alright, our next step now is going to be to run nmap and see what services this given IP address is running. So you just type nmap sv and then the target's IP and go. Alright, so here you can see that we have port 21 and port 80 open on this machine. So therefore we have FTP and HTTP running. So the HTTP kind of gives us a hint that there's a web server that's running on the machine. And we'll run a web browser, open a web browser instance, and paste in our IP of the target. Press enter. Here we see a picture of a chili, which is quite spicy. Why is the picture even there? I don't know. So what I did was I tried to do some forensic investigation with this. So I used EXIF and binwalk. So results came in blank. Let's actually do that for the sake of this demonstration. Okay, so I went to my downloads folder and let's run EXIF. So it just gives you a bunch of properties of the given image. So in our case it's chili web JPEG. You guys must be noticing that the chili is spelled wrong. It's not the spice chili, but it's the country chili that it's spelled as. And then it came blank. So now let's try to run it with binwalk. E for extract. Usually what happens in binwalk is that when you put binwalk E, it would usually extract it. So you must have used binwalk in ValnHub lab previously for doing necromancer. Correct me if I'm wrong. So now that nothing came really, so I'm just gonna list it here. There's nothing as what I can see right now. Okay. So next thing what we'll try to do is we'll try to run the FTP server. So let's go to FTP towards the target IP and try to log in anonymously. Anonymous. Okay, so we see that anonymous login was unsuccessful. So next thing what we can do possibly is run Hydra and try to brute force our way into the FTP server. But before that, let's go to VulnHub, and I found this hint that really caught my eye. Alright, so go to Chili, and then if you see the hint here, it says if you ever get stuck, try again with the name of the lab. Hence, the name of the lab is Chili. So we're gonna brute force our way into the FTP server by typing sudo hydra. Since I've already run the command before, so it's already there, so it was easy to type it in. And then T64 is just so I can have 64 tasks running in parallel, which I think are threads. So I'm gonna press enter, and it's gonna take a few minutes to be able to brute force the FTP server, and we'll be back. Okay, so after some time, we were able to get the login credentials for our FTP server. So without further ado, now we're gonna log in using our FTP server. So, but before, we'll run Wireshark, just so we can capture everything that's going on behind the scenes. Okay, just put my password in. Alright, so while it initializes, I'm gonna clear our console. So we're gonna run FTP, and then the target IP of our server. I'm just gonna run Wireshark now. Okay, so it's asking for a username, Chili, and then we supply our password that we found from the Hydra brute force. Okay, now we're logged into FTP server. I'm gonna list what's there. And let's check our current directory that we're on inside the remote machine. So we're on home Chili. Okay, so we have to change to our web directory, var www html. Okay, so we list for all the stuff that's inside that directory. So here we can see that we have Chili web JPEG, index HTML, .vim, .nano. .nano seems to be a directory of interest here because it has all permissions given, so it can be read, written, and executed by users, groups, and other users as well. So we're gonna change our directory into nano and have our reverse shell written there. So however, just to save time, I already have my reverse shell present here. So it's PHP reverse shell PHP. If I didn't have it, I would just use the command put PHP reverse shell dot php, and make sure you're in the directory which contains that file, otherwise it will throw an error. Or what you can do in that case is just specify the local path of the of the local machine. Okay, so now that we have this running, we're gonna open another terminal. But before we go, we're gonna filter FTP traffic and see what really happened behind the scenes. So when we started logging in as FTP server, so we had that three-way TCP handshake wherein we send a SYN packet. So it asks for the username. We provided the username Chili, and then we gave it the password A1B2C3D4, and so on. Alright, so now I'm gonna open another terminal tab. Just make it a little bigger so you all can see. Okay, so we're gonna run netcat lnvp port quadruple 5. So this is listening on TCP port 5555. Okay. So what I did for the reverse shell file was I went on GitHub and I found this file called pentestmonkey. It's actually a PHP script which is used to implement a reverse shell. So I changed this to my local IP address, and I changed this to quadruple 5 so it can listen on port 5555. So now, if we go to the browser and supply the path to where our reverse shell file is, we're gonna go http 192.168.12.130.nano, which is a hidden directory, and then specify the reverse shell file. So while this loads, we go back. Here we see we have a bin sh shell. So let's run a quick who am I www data, okay, and our present working directory is root, list, everything that is there. So we have lots of files in here, bin, dev, etc, etc, yada yada yada. Okay, so to make this shell look a little bit more neat, I will run python 3-c import pty semicolon pty dot spawn double quotes bin bash, and then we close the quote. Okay, now that looks much better than what we had previously. So we're not done here yet. So we want to switch our user to Chili. That's the original user that we obtained through Hydra. And then we supply our password A1, B2, C3, D4. Okay, that looks pretty good. List. So we don't have anything really. So we just have dot bash history, bash logout, bash rc, and shell.php, which probably is from there originally.